Okay, we're gonna get started with Jaylin Ingram. Jaylin, ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, so first we're gonna start with Mike Griffith, and then we're gonna go to Mark Weiser.
Yeah, Jalen, obviously, can you just talk about what happened there in the last 5 minutes? It looked like you guys, it had kind of gotten some momentum going there when you tied it up at 73.
Yeah, we pretty much got some momentum going. Thought that was gonna give us another pull it out. We kind of drifted away from our game plan, so I think that kind of came back to bite us later on in the game. And that's pretty much what I have to say about that.
Well, obviously, it was a tough matchup for you guys, I guess. What were some of the issues that he presented?
He was just too comfortable the whole game. We were supposed to focus on him. It was a game plan. Some of everyone on the team, we just didn't focus on him enough. Let him get to his left hand, and he was just comfortable the whole night.
Okay, next we're gonna go to Chip Towers and then Lance McCurley.
Yeah, Jaylin, just can you speak to the atmosphere a little bit? I mean, a lot of you guys haven't had a chance to be involved with the Tech-Georgia rivalry. Pretty intense, pretty good crowd. What were your thoughts on that part of it?
It's definitely one to remember. I'm glad it was a home game. Once we made a couple plays, we had a crowd behind us, and the momentum definitely helped us come back once we went down by a few. So just being in the atmosphere was unbelievable, and it's an experience for me that I'll never forget.
Can you kind of talk about the play of Jabri tonight? I think he had 10. I think that might be a career high, and just kind of how he stepped up when some of these other guys from the other night didn't get in the double digit scoring wise.
Every night you have to be ready when your number is called. He did that tonight. Jabri works day in, day out on his shot. He's in the gym with me every day. So he was just ready when his number was called, and his points and contributions definitely helped us.
Okay, next we're gonna go to Drew Beal and then Cole Acock.
Hey, Jalen. I know you're a team first guy, and obviously it wasn't the result you guys wanted tonight, but from an individual perspective, you had a pretty good performance, season high in points and led the team in plus minus. Did the coaching staff call on you specifically heading into the game to take an aggressive role because you looked noticeably aggressive all night, or did you kind of just feel compelled to step up as a veteran in a big rivalry game?
I definitely felt just to step up as a veteran in a big rivalry game. I just did what we did all week, tried to pick the weaknesses of their zone, just try to get to those spots, and guys found me, and I was able to finish the plays.
Yeah, the Georgia Tech offense tonight, in particular, Michael DeVoe had just a very efficient game. Just what were kind of the things that they were doing tonight that caused you guys some issues?
It was like the split action that they kept running. I feel like we was getting confused as a team on when to switch, when to stay up, and it had us a step behind every time he got the ball. So that was able to let him be comfortable the whole game and get to his spots and make shots.
Okay, that's all for tonight. Thanks, Jared.
Don't forget me.
Oh, Dasher, we'll have you as our last question.
Hey, Jalen, I hate to bring up the free throw sheet here at the very end, but that was obviously a big point today. Just how frustrating is that for the team as a whole? Because I don't know if that had been the difference tonight, but obviously y'all hurt yourself with that tonight.
Yeah, free throws definitely help. We make free throws. We just got to come in and focus, take a different approach to it. Just knock them down and concentrate every time we go up. That's for everyone on the team when we get to the free throw line. Just to go up and concentrate and knock them down.
Thanks, man.
Okay, now you're officially done. Thank you.
Jeez. Getting Dasher in there. I need light. Can you give me your phone lighter?
Okay, next we're going to be joined by Aaron Cook. Ready to get started, Aaron? Okay, first we're going to start with Mike Griffith, and then we're going to go to Mark Weiser.
Hey, Aaron, we're just talking with Jalen about it. I guess I'd get your post-game thoughts on that loss, to pack it in like that, lose to a rival. What happened in the last few minutes there after you guys tied it at 73?
I
I think we just made some costly mistakes. Like Jay, I said, we got away from our game plan a little bit. I feel like a lot of it had to do with what I was doing on the court. I had a costly turnover, couple bad shots. So, as a leader of this team, I take full responsibility for the loss that we had tonight.
Aaron, obviously you guys played Cincinnati, Georgia Tech. You're going to have Virginia, maybe Providence, Northwestern next week. I mean, how do you think these kind of games are, what are you learning about this team as you play that kind of opponent?
It's definitely helpful. I think they really showed us that we have to improve on our defense. Offensively, we got some shots that we wanted. The zone kind of messed with us, but those are things that we have to figure out going forward. And I think Monday and Tuesday we'll be ready for that.
Okay, next we're going to go to Chip Towers and then Lance McCurley.
Yeah, Aaron, obviously you're the handle on the team. Just a lot of turnovers tonight, especially in the first half. Looked like you turned it around a little bit in the second half, and then the missed free throws. What you just address those if you don't mind.
Whenever a team shoots 60% from the field and we miss 10 or 11 free throws, and you let one guy go for 37 points, it's almost impossible to win. The team goal is to keep the opposing team to 39.9% field goal percentage. And, tonight we just didn't get it done. Our defensive intensity wasn't nearly as high as it should have been. Like you said, myself, I should have took care of the ball a lot more. I'm still learning, trying to figure out this offense and, how I can be effective and more efficient with the handle. But, like I said, it's something that we have to work on going forward, and we definitely will.
Okay, next we're going to go to Anthony Dasher and then Drew Beal and then Jared Smith.
Hey, Aaron, you talked about the defensive intensity as it pertains to trying to slow down Mr. Devoted item. Is that something kind of what you were kind of alluding to right now? Kind of let him get too comfortable, maybe. A lot of his what he was doing tonight.
He was definitely a really good player. He was really smart about how he was getting into people's body and bouncing out to get to his spots and get his shot off. But, that's no excuse to why he scored so many points. Like Jalen said, that with the split action, we have to figure that out and understand how to guard that without getting confused. And I think that in itself would have stopped a lot of their offense because they relied on that heavily. And, DeVoe, like I said, is a really good player, but it's unacceptable to ever let somebody score 37 points in a college basketball game.
Hey, Aaron, I know it's hard to think about some of the good things after a tough loss like tonight, but I think there are definitely several things that you guys did really well all night. What, in your opinion, were some of the bright spots that you guys had that you can sort of take away and build on moving forward?
The biggest thing about this team that I'm inspired about is the fact that we fight until the very end. That's one thing that not many teams have, especially new teams with 10 new guys that are all trying to figure out how to play with each other, for the first time ever. So, I think we're starting to figure it out as a team, how we can score offensively, who's good at what. And like I said, we just fight to the very end. So I'm very proud of this team for how we fought. But, tonight it just didn't fall our way.
Hey, Aaron. I know the free throws ended up being a struggle scoring wise, but y'all still looked really good scoring from the field. I mean, you were 50% from the floor and then 47% from three. How did y'all kind of get some of those better looks up tonight, kind of have that really good efficiency everywhere scoring?
The biggest thing when it comes to scoring is moving the ball, making the defense move. And when you get the ball movement like that, it's easy to score. It's one or two dribbles to the basket and lay it up, or you get a wide open shot from three, and that's what we really need to focus on. And that's something that I need to do a better job of, is getting us in offense and, really moving the ball myself. I feel like I over dribble way too much, when I'm out on the floor. And, watching film, that's what I see. And I know that that's something that I need to work on. So, like I said, I take full responsibility for what happened tonight. But, that's what gets us going offensively, is moving that ball.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
I'll let y'all know when we're going to be joined by Coach Crean.
scored too many points at the rim. And again, we had numerous chances. We overcame deficits, came back, but we missed free throws tonight at crucial times. And it's one thing to shoot 12 or 24 in a game. It's another thing to shoot it at the times of the game that we did. So we've got a lot of learning to do. They want to learn. There's a lot of fundamental learning that's got to continue to go when it comes to switching, when it comes to what we're trying to take away from somebody, and then just having the wherewithal and the stick-to-itiveness, which really is a locked-in focus that we've just got to get better at. But we've just got to get that understood. It's not complicated. Okay, what's complicated is when you're not locked into what we need to do. We're not in a place yet where we have a lot of different schemes and coverages. We're just not a veteran group enough yet as a program to do that on this team. But when we did do things right, when we did defend right, it worked out well for us. When we didn't, they got clean looks at the basket and or tips if they missed. So we've got a short period of time to get better before we play on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay, we're going to get started with questions. First, we're going to go to Mike Griffith and then Mark Weiser. Coach,
you mentioned a lot of those issues. I mean, it's kind of unprecedented to throw 10 new guys together in one season. I mean, what are you learning about this process, I guess, and how close do you think you are?
Well, I don't know how close. I would say this, with 10 new guys, you'd be shocked at what some never were taught, maybe even the ones that were in college, and some basic things. And one of the biggest areas, we're not going to make the jump. There's almost times that we've got to go back to a summer camp teaching fundamentals on day one and station type of work, because it's just not ingrained yet. And we spend time at that, but it's just not ingrained yet. A lot of this stuff is certainly correctable. I mean, the free throw shooting, the shooting, things of that nature. What's got to happen for this team is they've got to come together and talk on the floor. And we've got to be able to execute basic switches with communication. We've got to be able to take away elements of a game plan, take away strengths. And especially the one thing we've really done is really short-circuited how much we give them preparation-wise, because especially for the other team, based on the fact that we have so many new guys. But the things that we do focus on, we've got to do a better job with. So I don't have an answer on how long it's going to take, but we do have a great group of guys that work extremely hard. And it's just a matter of building some togetherness and toughness that eventually turns into a resolve and some unity.
Tom, your defensive numbers before today looked, decent for the first three games. Was a lot of this just about what Georgia Tech does, or a matchup, and how much you think it's going to carry over against Virginia or Northwestern or Providence?
Well, I have no idea how it's going to carry over. I would hope that it wouldn't. I mean, that would be nothing that we'd want to carry over. We have defended better. We just didn't take away strengths of the opponent tonight, individual strengths as much as we should have.
Okay, next we're going to go to Chip Towers and then Lance McCurley.
Yeah, Tom, what was the chief problem with defending Devo? Obviously, he was at the top of your game plan.
Getting on his left hand consistently. And it's as simple as that. He can score with his right hand. He really doesn't dribble it real well with his right hand. And we just let him get to his strength. And we never made him uncomfortable for extended periods of time. And we didn't make Usher uncomfortable. And they're veterans, right? I mean, they're ACC champions. They've been through a lot. I mean, they're really good players. They've got a good team, really good team. But we just never made them uncomfortable enough. And we've got to get that corrected.
Hey, Coach, can you kind of talk about the play of Jabri tonight?
I'm really sorry, but I really try again, if you will, because I really couldn't hear anything other than Jabri.
Can you just talk about his performance tonight, scoring 10 points and just kind of him shooting off the ball, confidence that he gained?
Yeah, we need that. We need Jabri to play well. I'm glad to see him shoot the ball. He made some good defensive plays, and we need him to be able to be a efficient contributor, and that's a very good start for him tonight.
Next, we're going to go to Anthony Dasher and then Drew Beal.
Coach, Aaron Aaron Cook kind of took it on himself today, I guess, taking a lot of the blame, I guess, for what happened on the court, some of the missed opportunities and things like that. You like see that from him to kind of try to be a leader like he's trying to be right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And now I want to see the resolve of changing, right? I mean, he's a tremendous leader. So I'm not privy before I come in here to see what was said by the players in the press conference, but it doesn't surprise me. But we have a lot of, there's things we do real well, but there's a lot of basic elements of basketball that we've got to get better at. And we just do. I mean, it's a daily process. We've got some guys that have been in Division I. Obviously, the roles that they have here, they didn't have at their other places. But at the same time, there's a lot of basic things of basketball that they don't quite understand yet, but they're really working hard to get it. So that becomes a factor. So it's never on just one person. It starts with me and it trickles down from there. But when we did guard the way that we were supposed to guard, we did a pretty good job. We drew charges. We put them into tough, different situations. But we've got to be locked in longer. There's just no doubt about that.
Hey, Coach, in spite of the result tonight, I think the guys did a pretty good job responding to the high stakes of an intense rivalry, especially considering their, the current stage of their development as a team. Like you mentioned, I thought the energy and effort were definitely there. Aside from that, what was your biggest takeaway from tonight's game?
I'll have to go watch the film, and as soon as I'm done with this, I will. But I mean, I think I've covered it. And I think when we made the game easy on offense and we cut and we didn't over penetrate, we did some really good things. There's no question we're going to see a couple calls or non-calls in the game that would have turned the tide in the sense of goaltending calls and things of that nature. That's going to be part of the game. And unfortunately, some of those things happen at really crucial times. I think we'll see that. But there's nothing we can do about it now. But bottom line is we've got to get ourselves ready over the weekend to go play some really good basketball teams in New Jersey in a short period of time.
Okay, next we're going to go to Jared Smith and then Cole Acock.
Hey, Coach, one point in the second half, I saw you throw your hands up to kind of get the crowd going and get everyone kind of riled in. And I noticed that gets the momentum going for the offense and kind of gets the guys more involved. How important do you think that was in an environment like tonight? To get
we had a great environment. Yeah, we have a great environment. I was really excited to see that kind of crowd here. And I'm just sorry we couldn't send them home with a win. But they had a lot to do with our energy. They were fantastic. And hopefully they go home and they see, this team works really hard. They just got a lot to learn. And I think Mike said it best. I mean, we got 10 new guys out there. And the returner that we had is not out there in the sense of PJ Horn. So, I mean, but we're learning, right? We're a way better team. Night and day different team than where we were when we went to Charlotte for an exhibition. It's 4 games in. There's a lot of learning to do. There's a lot of basketball to be played. But like I said earlier, too, we can't just play it. We got to think it. And part of thinking it is talking. And that's where we have got to make strides consistently, quickly, but consistently.
Thank you.
Yeah, Coach. Georgia Tech in particular, Aaron DeVoe had a very efficient game. They shot 60% from the field, 53% from three. Was it just a matter of them making shots, or was it something scheme-wise that would just freeing them up to make so many shots tonight?
Well, that's really been the topic of the whole conversation here, is that we didn't do a good job of taking away strengths. And in the case of DeVoe, taking away his left hand, in the case of Usher, being alert to his cutting. So those are game plan things, but those are also just basic basketball things. But when you have a guy that you want to, we never put enough. When we did put pressure on the ball in the entry pass to the high post, we had some good fortune. When we didn't, they were able to play relaxed. And you just can't let a good team not feel you consistently. And there were times they did. But at the end of the day, we make those free throws at crucial situations. I think we're talking a different story too. And we just missed free throws. The 12 and 24 is not nearly as important as the time of the 12 and 24. And that set us back a little bit.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.